Next, we're going to move on to some straight line graph problems. So this is a type of thing where we have to find the solutions to the simultaneous equations using a graph. It can be much easier using a graph because it is just the point where the two equations intersect on a graph. It depends what the question's asking, as sometimes you need to give an explanation of what's happening. So question 1 says that below is a graph containing a plot of y is equal to minus 2x plus 3 and y is equal to x minus 3. So we can see it on the graph here, and then it's asking us to solve the simultaneous equations and then use the graph to confirm your answer and explain in words why you think you are correct. Okay, so let's write down our equations here. So we have y is equal to minus 2x plus 3 and y is equal to x minus 3. And we use substitution for this one since that we already have y is equal to some stuff. So if we substitute y is equal to x minus 3 into the first equation, so we have x minus 3 is equal to minus 2x plus 3. I could have obviously done that the other way around. I could have chose the first equation, but now we want to simplify to get a value for x. 3x is equal to 3 plus 3, which is 6, which implies that x is equal to 6 over 3, which is equal to 2. And then we substitute our x value into the equation for y we chose earlier, so we'll substitute it into this one here. So we have y is equal to 2 minus 3, which means y is equal to minus 1. And then let's check our answer just by substituting it into both equations. So we should have minus 1 is equal to minus 2 times 2 plus 3. So let's just check that's correct. We have minus 2 times 2, which is minus 4, plus 3 is indeed minus 1. So our solution is correct for the first equation. And the second equation, we have minus 1 is equal to 2 minus 3, which again, 2 minus 3 equals minus 1. So we know our solutions are correct for the second equation. Now this question almost seemed too easy, and that's because it's wanting us to use the graph to confirm our answers and then explain why we think we're correct. So we know that our solutions are x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1. So let's have a look at what's going on the graph then. So we have y is equal to minus 2x plus 3 here, and then we have y is equal to x minus 3 here, and then we have this line here and this line here, and the point where they intersect is at this point here. Now if I were to take the coordinates of that point, so let's have a look, so each square represents a value of 1, that means we have minus 1 here and we have positive 2 here. So I'm just going to write that as a coordinate, so we have 2 and minus 1. So what this is telling us is that the point where the two equations intersect is when x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1. Well, this is a solution that we got down here because x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1. So we're able to confirm that what we calculated is correct from the graph, but we need to explain in words why you think you're correct. Well, we're able to say that we know our solution of x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1 is correct because the point on the graph where the two equations intersect is when x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1. So we'll just put down that we know our solution is correct as the lines of the equations intersect at x is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 1. This question's just wanting to know whether you understand that when the equations intersect each other on a graph, that the coordinates of where they intersect is actually the solutions to the system. So now we're going to move on to a different question, where this one is also given us a graph, but notice that we've only got one equation. We've got y is equal to minus 2x plus 4. And the question is asking us to plot the line y equals 3x minus 1. So let's see if we can do this successfully. So the way I always like to do these problems is, if I have y is equal to 3x minus 1, if I let x equal 1, so let x equal 1, then I'd have y is equal to 3 times 1, which is 3, minus 1, which is 2. So y would be equal to 2. And if I let x equal minus 1, then I'd have y is equal to 3 times minus 1, which is minus 3, minus 1, which is minus 4. So what I'm able to do is draw a line that goes through x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2, and also goes through x is equal minus 1 and y is equal minus 4. So let's see what that might look like. So now if we place a dot where x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2, that would be there. And we'll draw a dot where x is equal to minus 1 and y is equal to minus 4, which would be there. And then what we'd need to do is draw a line through the 2 points. So something like that. And then straight away we can notice at which point the 2 lines intersect, which is actually the next question because it's asking write down the coordinates of where the 2 lines intersect. So we've already noticed where that is. That's where x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. So let's write x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, therefore 1, 2. Just in terms of coordinates. Now the next question I'm just going to leave for you guys to answer. I want you to have a think about why what Billy is saying is incorrect. So we have already mentioned in the last 2 questions reasons why there are solutions. So I want you to just have a think, when wouldn't there be any solutions? And why is there a set of solutions for the problem that Billy has? So we're just going to move on to the exam style questions now. So here we have Paul buys 2 games and 2 DVDs in a shop, and in total they cost £18. Sarah buys 3 games and 2 DVDs in the same shop, and they cost £22. Now form 2 equations and solve to find the cost of each games and DVDs. Okay, so what we're going to do is read the question again, but we're going to make some notes whilst we read it. So Paul, so we'll just call him P, buys 2 games and 2 DVDs in a shop, and in total they cost £18. Okay, so Paul buys 2 games, so we'll call that 2G, and 2 DVDs. So plus 2 DVDs. So we'll call DVDs just D. And they cost £18 in total. So that means that 2G plus 2D is equal to 18. But then Sarah, which we'll just use S, buys 3 games. So she's got 3G and 2 DVDs. So plus 2D. And they cost her £22. And what it's asking us to do is to form 2 equations, which we've just done, and solve the equations to find the cost of each game and DVD. So essentially, instead of using x and y that we are usually used to, we've got g and d. So we just need to find the solution for g and d that satisfies both equations. So let's have a look. So we'll use elimination just because we've got 2d in both equations. So we'll place our line there. We're going to subtract the second equation from the first equation. So we've got 2g minus 3g is minus g. 2d minus 2d, which is 0. And 18 minus 22, which is minus 4. Minus g is equal to minus 4, so that means that g is equal to 4. So let's do the same thing to find d. If we have 2g plus 2d is equal to 18, and 3g plus 2d is equal to 22, the lowest common factor of 3 and 2 is 6. So we're going to times the first equation by 3, so that we get 6g plus 6d is equal to 54. And we're going to times the second equation by 2, so that we get 6g plus 4d, which is equal to 44. And then we'll subtract the second equation from the first equation, so we have 6g minus 6g, which is 0, and then 6d minus 4d, which is 2d, and 54 minus 44, which is equal to 10. So this implies that d is equal to 10 over 2, which is equal to 5. So we have G is equal to 4 and D is equal to 5. So let's substitute our solution into the both equations just to make sure it's correct. So we have 2 times G, which is 2 times 4, plus 2 times D, which is 2 times 5, is equal to, so 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 5 is 10, and 8 plus 10 is 18. So we know the solution works for our first equation. And then for the second equation, we have 3 times G, which is 4, plus 2 times D, which is 5. Now 3 times 4 equals 12, and 2 times 5 is 10. Now 12 plus 10 is 22, so that means the solution also works for our second equation. We just want to place a final answer that says a game costs £4. A DVD costs £5. And that completes the question. Now we have our next question, which is Thomas and Mike have £6.70 in total. Thomas has £1.70 more than Mike. It's asking us to let T be the amount of money Thomas has and M be the amount of money Mike has. And we need to set up a pair of simultaneous equations and solve them to find how much each person has. So let's set up an equation. So this one's a little bit more trickier because we have Thomas and Mike have £6.70 in total. So that one's simple. So we have T plus M is equal to £6.70. But Thomas has £1.70 more than Mike. So we'd have to have a little think of how to write this because it doesn't tell us much information about Mike other than that Thomas has an extra £1.70 more than him. So in this case what we can do is we can write T minus M, which is the amount Thomas has minus the amount Mike has, should equal £1.70 because Thomas has an extra £1.70. And then now we have our two simultaneous equations. And hopefully you can recognise straight away that the coefficients to all the variables include 1, so we can use elimination to simply get T minus T, which is 0, and M minus minus M, which is 2M, is equal to £6.70 minus £1.70, which is £5, which implies that M is equal to 5 over 2, which because we're working with money we can put 2.5. And then we'll do the same for M, so we have T plus M is equal to £6.70 and T minus M is equal to £1.70. This case we'll just add them together, so we have T plus T, which is 2T, M plus minus M, which is 0, and £6.70 plus £1.70, which is equal to £8.40. So this implies that T is equal to £8.40 divided by 2, which is equal to £4.20. Which means our solution is M is equal to £2.50 and T is equal to £4.20. Let's just substitute them into our equations to make sure it's correct. So if we have T plus M, which is £4.20 plus £2.50, that should equal £6.70, so let's have a look. So we have £4 plus £2, which is £6, and then 50p plus 20p, which is 70p. So we know the solution works for the first equation, and then for the second equation we should have £4.20 minus £2.50, and then this hopefully should equal £1.70, but let's have a look. £4 minus £2 is going to leave us with £2, but then 20p minus 50p is going to leave us negative 30p, then £2 minus 30p equals £1.70. So the solutions also work for the second equation. So we want to write a final answer where we say Mike has £2.50 and Thomas has £4.20. Now next I have some actual past exam questions, but these are very similar to the example ones that I've just done, so I want you to have a go at these yourself. So just use what we did above to guide you, but the solutions are in the description of the video. That is the end of this video, but I hope you found the examples useful. Please give these questions a go yourself, but like I said, the documents in the description that I've used and the solutions are there as well, but I've hoped you enjoyed the video.